Hey yo, turn on the TV.
Alright, you good to go?
I don't need this shit. I have better things to do than.
I'm here with my boy. What's up? What's up? I'm like, bro, watch out. Like, I'm like, deception.
We're restarted like 10 seconds ago, bro.
Welcome, everybody. I'm excited today. Super excited because I got here the man, the myth, the legend, Justin Zheng, everybody. Again, welcome to the show, the podcast. I'm 100% here. What's up, bro? How's it going?
It's been good. A little busy, but it's been good.
Stressful or not?
Yeah.
How stressful? Just
a lot of like work. A lot of driving.
I seen that, bro.
Yeah.
That's seen that. You're traveling, man. Let me ask you something here. So, correct me if I'm wrong. 4 years of college here at CSUMB,
Yes.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
How has that been for you, bro? 4 years, man. We're almost done. You know.
It's been like good. Like it's like hard balancing everything, and like I'm from SF, so like I go back and forth all the time. I'm rarely here, so I don't really know anyone here until this year where I didn't really like do like the whole club stuff or nothing.
Right.
And then the reason that I know a lot of people in like the art department or whatever is through Diego, because we were in actors process like last semester, and then we were just like talking because we were in a group together, and I had no intention to like collab with them on this capstone. And then he was like pitching to me the idea. He was like, "Yo, like you want to DP it?" And then I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll be down." He's like, "You want to collab it?" And then like one step led to another. And then he got me on Alvaro's capstone. And then so we did that. And then, but the first thing we did was like game show together.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Holy crap! It's crazy. In just 1 year, we did a lot, and I'm glad you did a lot of projects. We did a lot of projects together.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked, bro, is 4 years of college. It passes by super quick, bro.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. It was like I felt like I was just like in like the freshman halls like last week.
The what's it called? Did you ever live in the freshman dorms?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I look back and I walk past by. I'm like, wow. 4 years ago, 3 dudes in one room, one bathroom.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, bro. What do you think these 4 years have taught you, bro?
I think the main thing it teaches you is like you gotta like make it work no matter what. Like if you want, like especially in like the industry that we're in, like no one's really ever gonna like come up to you and be like, hey, like I have this like it comes up every so often, but like you have to like constantly like find like people to connect with and be like, hey, like just put yourself out there. And like you gotta be like humble. You can't like let your ego get in the way. Like you just gotta be like, yo, like let me hop on this shoot. Like even if you're like a DP, but like they don't need a DP, but you want to get on that set, like you have to like suck it up sometimes and be like, maybe I'll just PA, maybe I'll just grip. Like if you want to be a DP, like you have to start off with like ACing and everything, and it's just like you gotta like take whatever opportunity comes your way, and like you have to go out and find it. It's really rare where like someone would just come up to you and be like, hey, like I need someone.
It's crazy you say that because each one of us, there's a lot of us actually here at CSUMB in the art department, we have our own niche, we have our own talents, and your talent obviously is cinematography, man, and a little bit of directing, I noticed, right? And cinematography, explain to me, man, what got you into that?
Yeah, so I've been like into like cameras for like a really long time.
How long? Like when you were a kid?
Like probably like since like middle school.
Oh, nice.
6th, 7th grade. So like I hate writing, so like I know I can't be a director. Like I know like I'm not into like script writing, none of that stuff. So like even in college, screenwriting not for me.
Did you ever take the class?
No, I never took the class because I knew that was not what I was interested in. And so like that's why I found like some of the classes like really boring, because like a lot of it was like film analysis. It was like you write a paragraph about like this black and white silent film, and I'm just sitting there like
give me a camera,
this like
bro.
Charlie Chaplin stuff is like not into it. So I knew writing wasn't my thing. So in like middle school, I hated writing essays. So like there'd be like video options that the teacher, and no one usually takes it because it's like some people see it as more work, but for me it was like way less work than writing an essay. So I'd like get a couple of my friends together. I'd be like, hey, like we can group up. We'll make this. It'll be super simple. You guys don't gotta lift a finger. Just let me do this for my project. And so like we'd shoot like some short like narrative stuff like, and like we'd be like ripping off like some like the blockbuster movies. I don't know if you ever watched Elysium.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
Yeah, we ripped that off for like a dystopian. Like we were supposed to write an essay about like a dystopian world, and like I watched that movie and I like totally like ripped it off. It's like somewhere on YouTube.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
That's cool, bro. Cinematography. It's dope to see you at work. We definitely have, and I'm posted on this video. We definitely have a lot of good shots of you behind the scenes doing these dope ass shots. And the cool thing that you mentioned is that you DP'd, aka director of photography. You were director of photography for the film Por el Amor al Futbol. How was that? What was the experience like that? What was the highlights? What were the lows there, man?
Yeah, so for me in my like DP experience, I don't do a lot of narrative stuff. Like other than like the school projects with the narrative stuff, I do a lot of like more like commercial stuff.
Yeah.
So like stepping into like this, when you like pitched me your film idea and like all this other stuff like game show, it was all narrative stuff. So to me it was like kind of new. Like I've watched like YouTube videos on like cinematography breakdowns for like short films and all that sort of stuff. So like I kind of knew like what the DP did. But me going into this role, like I relied heavily on like on my AC like Angel.
Yeah.
And like he was like kind of like telling me like, okay, and then like I was relying on like the 80s telling me the shot list and everything. And like usually like me, I'm a one-man band. So like having this whole crew together was like kind of crazy. And I was like, yo, like I don't gotta like bring my own batteries, like, or like I kind of just like it was cool. It was a fun learning experience, and like I kind of like shot it like how I would do like a commercial or whatever. And so like it was like I tried to like get it to be like at a pretty reasonable pace, pretty fast pace, so we got all the shots done, so everyone got home on time.
It's all good, but it's crazy because when I was just watching, right, you were talking to the director Alvaro, talking to Alyssa, the AD, everyone, right? You see that there's three brains thinking throughout this process. What I love about it is the brainstorming between a group. You know, do you think that you could think of something on the fly whenever there's a moment of, hey, okay, we have a problem here, solving a problem? Do you think you can fix it quickly? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, has there ever been a moment, I guess, throughout, I guess, these both capstones, the boxer and Por el Amor al Futbol, was there ever a moment where like, okay, I gotta think of something quickly, like solving a problem?
Yeah, like
a lot of DPs kind of go through this and they stay there. They're like, oh shoot, I don't know what to do, and they stay a while in that moment.
Yeah, so one of like the biggest challenges was when we went to your apartment to shoot the intro sequence. Right. Where it was the boy watching the TV and everything. Like when we showed up, like it was like I knew the size of like the living room of Promontory, but I didn't expect it to be that much smaller with everything unloaded, all the equipment unloaded, and like 20 people just standing around. So we really had to work around that, especially lighting it like. And there wasn't much like lights. Like if you're ever in a prom, like all the lights are somehow like in one side of the room. Like there's none in the living room. It's all in the kitchen.
There's light switches here in random places. They don't even work.
It's so random. But so like I was talking to Gaffer, I was like, hey, like we're gonna have to like bust out like all the lights we have, and like he only had one light set up, and we were on like kind of a time crunch because we were trying to like do dinner within 30 minutes and also shoot like the intro scene. So I had the Gaffer, like I was just like, yo, we gotta like whip up the lights together. So like we were just like working together, trying to like get the lights up all as fast as possible. And it ended up working out because I think we ended up like setting all the lights, and then we just ate dinner, and then we went back to shooting. And then when we got into the bedroom scene, it was okay. There was no way we were gonna fit a light in here. So we just used one of the really mini light panels, and we made that work with just like messing around with like the color temperature, trying to like get it to match with the room light, and then also like working the white balancing camera. But it's like, and then they're like working with kids sucks. I didn't think like I remember when like Louise was in class telling us like, hey, like 12, 13-year-olds are kind of hard to work on, and I was thinking like, nah, I I don't remember 12, 13-year-olds being that difficult.
I don't remember being us like dicks to people. You
Yeah,
know?
like I thought like, okay, if they tell me to do something, I'll just do something.
Yeah.
But then we showed up and like nobody wanted to cooperate. So then I told Alyssa, I was like, hey, this isn't working out. And Alyssa just like sent a bunch of them home.
Oh no, that's right.
Not like home, but like just like off to the sideline and like back into the room or whatever.
Yes, correct.
And so yeah, it takes a lot of like collaboration because like I'm not too much of like I couldn't be an AD because I'm not like really like hey, like you gotta do this, like give me like you have 5 minutes left on this shit, like I can't like be like confrontational like that, so I just like left it to Alyssa. Right.
It's so cool to see your work and seeing the process, the production side of how you do things, bro. It's amazing, and it was chaotic when it came to the kids. I remember one time you guys were shooting, right, and you guys were doing the goalie scene. And you see these kids just laughing. They're making jokes. They're making inappropriate jokes at 13. And then I go up to them like, hey man, can you guys respect the set?
Yeah.
Like, they look at me and they start cracking up. I'm like, holy crap. And that's when I realized like, yeah, I'm not gonna have kids.
Everyone's trying to touch the slate and everything.
Yes.
And like nobody cares about like the quiet on set thing.
But they're kids, yeah. You gotta remember they were kids. Going back to the same question, and you did Por el Amor al Futbol, and you also did The Boxer. And we appreciate you, bro. It's definitely making progress in the editing. But what was your experience like that, bro? And you can be real.
Yeah. I think we learned a lot from The Boxer to make Alvaro's film go way more smooth. And we realized that less gear is more because it's really cool coming onto like a set with like all the like any equipment you want. Like you could like you look at that checkout list and you're like, damn, I want all these. Like I want a 1K, I want a 2K, I want 4 300Xs. But then you also got to remember like we need to set that up and we need to find a way to transport everything. And going to The Boxer, trying to transport like all that gear to Salinas and then back and then back again. It was a lot of work. And so then going into like the Alvaro's film, I was telling him, I was like, we need less decisions to make on set. Like I don't want to like decide like how many lights we need to set up. I don't want the gaffer asking like, oh, do we need every light set up every single day?
You already have it straightforward. I want this.
We just want like enough lights to get us through to get it, especially when you're trying to shoot a film in 3 days. It's like you have to make sacrifices, you have to compromise. You can't make everything perfect the way it like you want. If we had 3 weeks, then it's a lot different, but it's with 3 days you have to just kind of like make do with what you have. Like setup time takes a long time, breakdown takes a long time. So I think we had way too much equipment for The Boxer. Like there was a corner just like
full of
stacked, and so like just trying to move stuff around for different shots took a long time. We need everyone to work on it. And for The Boxer, I think if I could do it all over again, I'd shoot everything on one camera. Because I think that's the main issue we're running into, especially with color and everything, where we're trying to match 3 cameras. So the biggest advice is shoot everything on one camera if you can.
100%. I think I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna piggyback on what you're saying. In my head, I was thinking creatively, but I did. Now thinking about it, I did have to make some sacrifices. One camera next time, dude.
Or if we want to do multi-cam, all of them be the same camera.
Yes, correct. It's definitely a learning experience. I definitely see what kind of sacrifices I have to make for next time, what kind of story I want to make for next time. You say you work in commercial work mostly, right? Would you ever do a narrative film again?
I would do another narrative film. I remember Anna, when we were rapping, she was pitching like this like thriller, thriller film that she wants to shoot up in SF. So like I'd love to get on that, and then like other narrative stuff. Me personally, I probably wouldn't write and direct one.
Yes, 100%.
I'd probably jump on someone else's and help them out with the camera department or whatever. But yeah, I'd definitely do another narrative.
So in that project, we're still in the beginning. Like we're still even editing the writing right now. We're in that process. So I'm excited for that one. That's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a really good director, Anna Sanchez. She directed First Lesson. And she told me from the beginning, like, dude, I love how Justin works. I want him on this project. I was like, get that fool ready, man.
Yeah.
And you say you do commercial work, bro. What was your first gig? Your first gig?
Ooh, okay, so this was like probably like in high school.
Oh, snap.
So like probably like I didn't take it seriously until like it was always like something to like have fun with. And then so then in high school I started taking it seriously because my dad was like,
okay,
yo,
cool.
like what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do when you grow up? And then I was like, I always thought like, so my dad's an accountant. So me, I was either gonna do accountant or get into like aerospace, like something completely different.
Justin Zheng, the accountant.
Yeah, like
I don't
in
see
the
it, bro.
accountant, or like I wanted to be an aerospace engineer for
Cool.
a really long time, but then I just didn't like math and physics was hard. And I remember like thinking back, like, okay, the camera stuff was really cool. So then I started taking it really seriously. I made a website. I did everything. I started like researching Google, like how to be a filmmaker, how to be a photographer. So I started photography first. And so the first commercial gig that I got was through a company called, it was an orchestra. It's called Purple Silk Music Orchestra Education or something. It was something that they would teach like Chinese, like what's it called? Like Chinese, like not antiques, but like just like the traditional instruments.
Got you.
To like anyone from K to 12. And it was because they wanted to like document their story, because I think the founder's son was becoming the director or whatever of the whole program, and so they wanted like an interview sequence, and then they wanted to like show him like teaching and all that sort of stuff. So then back then I had like a Canon like T6i, a really entry level camera, and then I shot that, and then I remember I think I charged them like $1,300. Yeah, and when I charged them it was like 2 months of work. Like I remember going every weekend to shoot.
That makes
like
sense.
a little, because they only had classes like every Saturday for like 2 hours.
Got it.
So it was like 2 months of work, and then I remember like I was like cutting. I didn't even think I had Premiere yet. I think it was Windows Movie Maker, because I didn't have the money to get Premiere Pro, and so I cut that in Windows Movie Maker, and it was like 1080p or even like 720p or whatever. And I remember like I made like $1,300, and I was like, yo, like this is cool. Sick. Like if I can do this again, like I can buy. Back then my dream camera was the Canon 5D4, and I remember like, okay, if I do 2 more of these, I can get that camera. And then I worked really hard on that, and then I sent that over, and then they had like a bunch of revisions, so I was like cutting that for another month or so.
Got it.
And then they were finally like kind of happy with it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. If you ever, and I remember I emailing like, thank you, like if you ever need anything, like let me know. And then I didn't like reconnect with them for like another like 3-4 years until COVID, and I did another thing for them.
That's cool.
But that was like the first like big shoot.
Very cool. What's been the coolest gig you've ever taken? Commercial work, film, photography.
Probably like within the last half a year. I don't know if you guys know the tequila company Patron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did something with Patron.
Oh shoot.
Where they were throwing like a dinner, like this was with like the Stop Asian Hate thing, like a couple months back, like probably like 4 or 5 months back. They were sponsoring this event out in SF with a company called I Will Harness, and they were doing like this black solidarity dinner where they had like this black like chef that was, I think, on MasterChef or some like big like cooking show, and then they had the Vietnamese like restaurant owner come, and they did like a fusion dinner for like, and then Patron like sponsored the alcohol or whatever, and then they wanted like some like just a quick like commercial reel to like post on Instagram. So I made a couple reels for them. I made like a quick like recap video for them, and that was pretty cool. And then
cool, man, Patron.
Yeah.
that's dope, bro. Photography, cinematography, man, it's crazy because I tried myself to get into it. I also did a gig for a quinceañera in 2019. She was turning 15, and they were like, hey, I heard you're into film photography, we want to hire you to do the photography for the event. I go up there. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I didn't know a lot about aperture, shutter speed, so I'm going in there blind, bro, blind as a bat. I'm taking pictures, bro. I'm like, oh, for sure, these are it. These are it. And when I'm uploading, looking at my computer, bro, they're overexposed, underexposed. I give them like, I took like maybe like 400 pictures, 500 pictures. It was a lot. And I give them maybe like 100, and they sent me only $60. They only sent me only $60.
Yeah, that's the big reason why I transitioned from photography to film, because I got into photography because I had my grandpa's film camera. He gave me some of his old cameras.
Nice.
And so I started doing that. And then it was also kind of like the cool thing to do in high school. Like, oh, you're a photographer. Like, I take my prom pics. I take my senior grad pics. And and then like I was in a club called Key Club. It was like a community service club, and I wanted to be the club historian. So I got into photography through stuff like that. And I remember like trying to do photo shoots and stuff. And I remember like, okay, I was capping out at like $250 per shoot. And I was like, okay, if I were to pursue photography, I would go into wedding photos. So I did wedding photos, and that was a lot of work. It was like 8 hours, and you go through like 3,000 photos, and it's a lot of stress because like it's their big day and you can't mess it up. And that wasn't for me. And then I knew like commercial photography, like doing product shoots and stuff, setting up backdrops, doing flashes and stuff wasn't my thing for photography. So I got into video. So and yeah, so like making $60 is like really normal for me back then, and I was like, no, like this is not gonna be sustainable. I can't pay off my gear like this. I like $60 isn't even enough to cover gas half the time these days. Yeah,
these days, bro. That's why I do producing. If you want me to sign paperwork, I'll do that, and we're good to go, bro. It's amazing to see your work, bro. Especially the stuff that you post on your Instagram, bro. Especially the car stuff. I showed my brother a video of a video you did of cars. You know, just rolling through the road, going through the freeway. He's like, damn, that's badass, bro. Great coloring, bro. It's cool to see that. Was there ever a worst gig or a bad gig that you had that you just like?
All the time. There are like clients where like they're like really hard to work with, and like while shooting it, like I keep telling myself, I'm like, I will never work for this guy again.
Really? Oh wow.
But then they hit me up 3 months later, and I'm like, hey, but money is good, and I'll do it again for them. But like there are like times where like the director like will be like, yo, like can we get this shot, can we get this shot? Or like just like producers will come up to me and be like, yo, like we need all this gear, but this is how much we're paying. And like at the end of the day, it's like you as a DP have your own day rates and your own equipment rental rates and everything, and the production doesn't want to give you more budget, and then you're stuck there like, how am I gonna make this work? And that sucks in that instance where like, you know, you might be close with the director, but the director brought on this producer. And so it's like this triangle where you want to make the director's vision come true because you like working with them, because they're your friend, they're your boy. And so they want like these crazy like drone shots or whatever. So you need to get a drone up because they're starting to crack down on drone laws and stuff. So there was this one time where we needed drone shots. And I'm not licensed to fly a drone. That's not my business or whatever. So I don't invest in that kind of stuff. So we need a drone op, and then the director like wanted this like crazy like drone shot, and so the producer was like, I told the producer like, hey, we're gonna need a budget for a drone operator. How can we make that work? And we need if we need to fly like bigger cameras, we need permits for that kind of stuff. And they didn't want to budge on that. So I had to tell the directors like, hey, so like there's always like instances like that where like you need more budget for gear for crew, but it's just not there.
Yeah, I haven't. Maybe I've kind of once or twice people like, yeah, I'm not gonna work with you again, and from there I feel like other relationships, friendships, networking grows, and it's kind of scary to think that one day, let's say we're working for a production studio or a big company, right? Like, are we gonna love it? These big name studios, are we gonna love it? It kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, to me, it's like my dream clients are like BMW, Mercedes, Nike, and like that level of production where, I don't know, like those clients are dream clients because I love BMWs, I love Porsches, I like Nike, I wear their shoes and everything. And so it's like, it'd be great to get on those sets, but at the same time, it's like you have to please so much people to even get a call back. You have the director to make happy. And like maybe I'm not going to DP on like a Nike shoe. Maybe I'll just PA, maybe I'll just AC or whatever. But at the same time, it's so much pressure because there's so much money involved now. Yeah. Like we're talking like millions of dollars or like even $100,000 for these productions and these shoots, and like you're working with cameras that worth more than your house. So it's kind of like
That's so true.
yeah. So it's
that's
like
so true, bro.
Like it trips you up like you're holding a lens that costs more than a car. So it's like, and then at the same time, it's like, do I need to own the gear as a DP? Like, I get a lot of people tell me like, oh, you don't need to own the gear, like the production will rent it for you. But it's such a competitive market where just because you have an Arri Alexa or you have a red weapon, you have a red monster or whatever, it makes you more hireable. Because I've seen a lot of my friends that are like industry DPs that because they have Arri Alexas, because they have reds, they get hired. And that's why you'll see a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of DPs will put like red op or like Mogi op, Ronin op or whatever, because they have the gear and the production wants it. So it's like me being a DP and wanting to get to that level, I have to own that level of gear. Like, am I really gonna put down a car for one lens? It's like crazy.
They're worth, I forgot how much, I know you know Chris Rose, right?
Yeah.
Chris Rose, I remember he told me a couple years back, maybe I'm misremembering or just not remembering right, but his camera gear, 22 grand, I believe, something like that, maybe all together, all the gear that he has. I could be wrong, I'm so sorry, Chris, maybe it was around the area, at the amount, but I remember it was so much. He's like, dude, it's a lot, but it's gonna be worth it to work with. It's exactly the same reason people are gonna want a red op, an Arri op, and it's so crazy how competitive it all is, you know. And it's also amazing because when you get a call back, you're like, dang, it's worth it.
Yeah, and the hardest part for me is trying to convince my mom when I was in high school and stuff, like all these Amazon Prime packages, all these B&H photo, all these Adorama packages coming in, and she's like, why are you spending all this money? And coming from an Asian family, it's really hard to try and convince her to let me go into photography and like DPing and like this art stuff, because if you're Asian, you're gonna be a lawyer, you're gonna be a dentist, a doctor, a professor or whatever, like just the stable careers. So like freelancing, it's hard for my parents to wrap my mind around that, especially now I'm telling them like, hey, like, yo mom, I'm gonna spend $5,000 on a lens. And she's like, $5,000 on a lens? And she's like, that's a month's salary on a lens. And I'm like, yeah, but like you can charge for it. And she's like, who's paying you like however much you need to repay that? So it's like really hard to like have your parents wrap your mind around that and like try and explain to them like, hey, this field will work out, like trust me.
It's crazy you say that, because it's the next topic. There's a stereotype, right, especially for young filmmakers, whether they go to college or not, but they're filming, right? The stereotype is, will they make it into the film industry? What do you think about that?
Dude, I be thinking about this all the time at night. Like, hey, this is what keeps me up at night, especially since we're coming up on like the graduation and stuff, like less than a month now. Like, I'm thinking like, okay,
yeah, bro,
what am I gonna do? Like, I can't be making like these so what I'm trying to do is break into like the higher budget stuff where I can consistently work with higher end cameras and all that sort of stuff. And it's, for me, like, it's the whole like union and non-union thing. Like, I'm looking a lot into the union and the non-union, and then recently I've been finding out that like there's agencies that will sign you, and like they will technically look for shoots for you, and like they'll find it for you. So they're producers, and they'll bring you on, obviously for a small commission. And if that's worth going, if the union route is worth going, if freelancing is going, where do I even want to move to? Like, there's a whole like,
you got a whole list, man.
Yeah, like I have like friends that tell me like, wow, it must be nice because like I don't have to work a retail job, I don't have to work a restaurant job. But then I tell them, it's like, hey, like,
it's not easy, bro.
Like, you want to spend $5,000 on a lens? Like,
we'll go back to the stereotype here, but the trips you make, I've been noticing you going on a lot of trips for the shoots. Recently, you told me that you went to Wisconsin. You've gone to other cities in California. What has been the best trip throughout your time of shooting? Like a nice trip, like, okay, this was a good
I think a good trip is like it could be really simple, like just me driving back to SF could be considered a good trip if for a shoot. If I can like bring like my friends onto sets, I think that's like a good trip, because like I'm working with people that I like. But like the coolest destination is probably like going to like Canada, Seattle,
You went to
like the
Canada?
Pacific Northwest and
Oh,
stuff
that's
like that.
cool,
Yeah,
man.
that was a couple of years back.
To shoot.
Yeah,
shoot. That's freaking
to
dope.
shoot. Yeah, but like I don't know. Like I like driving. I like LA. I like the people in LA. And like it's a cliche at this point. It's like overdone. It's like, oh wow, you want to move to LA? But like I'm seriously considering moving to
Yeah,
LA.
me too, bro. Me too.
And then there's people that are from LA and saying like, oh, the market's oversaturated. It's way harder. And then I'll talk to like a lot of DPs down there, and they'll be like, yes, it's oversaturated, but at the same time, it's if you're willing to put in the legwork, you can still make it work. And there's still the whole like big union, non-union. There's a lot of freelancers out there that do the smaller productions. But for me, I want to get on the bigger sets, so union route is probably the way to go. So I've been talking a lot with Chris Karp about it. I've been talking to Rod about it, asking a lot of questions because it's really hard to find information about unions online.
It's not direct. You go to IATSE and there's
and like people on YouTube, people online don't like to talk about even like something as simple as like how much is the initiation fee to get into union. I recently found out that you didn't hear this from me.
Yeah, please do.
But for local 600, which is the camera op union, from what Chris Karp told me, it's $5,400 initiation fee. But apparently you can split it over, I think like either it's a year or 12 or 24 months payments. And then it's like, I think and then there's also like 2 times a year dues and whatever. But it's really hard to find information on that kind of stuff, like just the cost of it. Like go on YouTube, there will be people that like are in the unions and stuff, but they'll be like, I'm not too allowed to talk about like costs and stuff like that.
I wonder why.
Because I guess it's not public information. Like you can't find it on IATSE's website or on like Local 600's website.
Right.
But it's up there.
Oh, interesting. The stereotype, and it's something that again, what are we gonna do after in a month? What's gonna happen? And of course, I wish you the best with all that, bro. But one of the things that always stood by me personally were my parents. My parents were always skeptical. What I know you talked about a little bit about that, but what's that been like for your parents and yourself? That relationship, that hey, parents, I want to do this. Yeah.
So for me, it was back to the dad asking me like, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you? And I told him, I was like, hey, I want to be a cinematographer. I want to be DP. I want to do this video stuff. And when we were applying for college, first of all, he didn't even support that. He like kind of shut that down right away. But I always stuck with that. I knew that was what I was gonna do.
Right on.
And when we were applying to college, he was looking over my apps and he was like, all the colleges I was applying, there was like cinematic arts and technology. Like I thought we were gonna do like marketing at least, or like business, or like something in the STEM field that would lead to a more stable job. And I remember getting to him like at this big fight. Like I remember like storming out, going to a friend's house like 9 at night. And like 9 at night now isn't too late, but like when I was in high school, like it was late. Like it was like dark, and like I didn't have a car or nothing, so I had my friend come pick me up, and I had to explain to him. And then like slowly, like we made it work. We decided that like, okay, you can make this work, but if this doesn't work out, say like in a couple years after you graduate, you should probably go back to school and do accounting or something and follow my footsteps. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. But I knew like that was not going to be an option, so I have to make this work no matter what. And like to me, like when I was decided that I wanted to do DP and I did the research on it, I didn't even want to go to college. Like I felt like this like wasn't needed. But now like it's more of like a safety net thing where like, okay, if I can't be like a DP like working in the field, I can at least teach it. I have the credentials to teach it if I wanted to. So that's like my safety net where like I can teach it at like an after school program. Cool. Or like I can like do my own courses or whatever because I have the little piece of paper that says you know what you're doing.
Interesting. That's freaking dope. One of my other not dreams, but it's a goal of mine in the future. Way in the future is to be a film professor as well, something along the lines. I don't know. It'd be pretty cool to teach people, film and cinematography, producing and all that. Because I feel like it's a lot of fun to help people network. That's kind of my niche. I like guiding a person to this company, And that's why I'm kind of guiding myself towards this agency that I'm trying to create. And it's scary because my parents also were like super skeptical. They're old school Latinos, right? They told me I should be a doctor, along the lines of a firefighter, because my brothers they have a stable job, right? But it's not. And I asked them, it's not something I want to do. One of my brothers, is a landlord. It's not something he wants to do. He wants to go into cars.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing that goes back to like, oh, like you need to make money. But like I think it's the generation that we grew up in is where like money isn't everything anymore. It's like at the end of the day when you die, like so what, you make $1 million. You worked the job that you didn't even like. Like yeah, you made a lot of money, but like when you die, you can't take that money with you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Huh?
So like I think it's more important to just do something that you like to do, and like if you work your hardest, like I don't want to be 60 and like being like say like a doctor or something and be like, damn, I wish I tried my hand at filmmaking. Like remembering that like high school dream is like, damn, I wish I pursued it a little more.
Yeah, bro. It's tough, you know, hearing my parents kind of like, hey man, what are you gonna do? Where's the job? Where are you gonna live? Right? It's overwhelming, right? But 4 years later, would you say that I guess to this day, do your parents in a way support you? Your family support you?
Yeah, so now like I'll send them like pictures of me on set, like me driving the set, or like sending them like my new gear pickups, and they're like, oh wow, that's cool. Like I recently picked up like a full set of lenses and I sent to my dad, and I was like, yo, like 15-year-old Justin would be like so happy right now. He's like, oh, good job. Like,
yeah,
that's good. So like that's like cool where like they kind of see it now, and like they see that like the work is consistent enough to like be able to like pay for myself and like do all that sort of stuff.
And that's good to see. I bet you it's a great feeling that your parents say, hey, all right, Justin's doing this, he's doing what he loves.
Yeah.
And I bet that's a great feeling from your parents, bro.
Yeah.
A thing that a question, this is a major question because it's something I had a question myself. In any moment, did you ever doubt yourself in these 4 years?
All the time. Like sometimes like there'll be like slow seasons where like there's not much work. And so I'm just recently coming out of that, where there wasn't much work, like commercial, like where I wasn't making as much money. But then like what worked out perfectly was it was capstone season. So I was like, okay, I'll hop on a bunch of capstones. And so it kept me busy. So it like kind of like distracted me, like, okay, like, yeah, I'm not making much money, but like I'm still doing what I love. And it was like a good break where like there wasn't as much pressure of like pleasing clients, and like because it's just a bunch of students working together to make something cool. But like there are a lot of times where like in the slow season where it's like, damn, I don't know if this is gonna work out. Where like, or like you'll be like, damn, like I don't know, like am I gonna have enough money to make it to next month? Or like it's like, where am I gonna move? So like the biggest question with like my parents is like, where are you gonna move next year, like what you said. And they want me to stay in like the Bay Area for the next foreseeable future, save up, buy a house elsewhere, and they want me to stay in the Bay Area, be nearby. But for me, I know the Bay Area isn't for me. There's not enough big productions out there for me to jump on. Like I don't want to keep doing these like small like highlight reels for like weddings or whatever. I want to jump up to the next step.
Right.
So me wanting to move to LA, wanting to go to Chicago or whatever is like kind of scary for them.
Yeah.
And to me, it's also scary for me because I'm thinking like, okay, if I can't make it work, like if I don't have enough money for rent because of a slow month, I have no one out there. Like I'm gonna know no one in LA, I know no one in Chicago, no one's there to back me up. Like what am I gonna do? So like there's a lot of times where I'm just like, fuck, like is this even worth it anymore? Like should I just have been an accountant like my dad?
It's a scary thought, man. It's a what if questions. But there's a thing that my cousin says to me. She's she's human resource. She's HR, right, for this juice company. She tells me, she's like, Diego, the people that I've seen, because she saw us on set, these people that I see on your set, on the Boxer, these guys are pursuing something that they love. And everybody here, right, specifically the family or her friends, like, we wanted to pursue something else. But you guys are following the dream. And that kind of motivates me because not a lot of my family members pursue their dream, you know?
Yeah.
And it's cool to see, like, hey, if you're doing it, I bet anybody else can do it, right? And it's beautiful to see that in a crew, whether it's the Boxer or Alvaro's Capstone, everybody was into it. No matter what, they were into it. And it's a great feeling, bro.
Yeah, it's really like you see like in everyone like posting on their story or whatever, or like commenting on your posts or whatever. It's like a big like dopamine rush. It's like
yes.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's like when you post something on Instagram about like a set you worked on or like about the piece of work you did, and like you have people in your comments being like, wow, this is so good, or like, wow, I can't wait to see it or whatever. It's like it's like, okay, that was worth it. Like the stress was worth it.
Yes, it's crazy because in production it's so much fun. It's dope. You have a lot of laughs, you have a lot of frustration, stress. You gotta problem solve, and for sure the production is gonna be so different from what the execution is gonna be, right? Whether it's good or bad, no matter what, that memory of whichever production we had, it was so much fun, and that to me that makes it worth it. Yeah, of course I want the film to come out good, but I'm always gonna remember the production. It was just so much fun. Networking with all you guys, especially telling Anna, go talk to Justin.
But another problem is like because you get that big you get that adrenaline rush while you're on set. It's like when you get off set and like you have that off season, like the 2, 3, maybe even a month, 2 months where you're not on set, you're like itching. It's like it's like you're like, damn, I need to get back on a set. Like I need to be on a set. So like that kind of sucks also. Yeah,
that's true. But the more, and if you check off your list, not check off your list, but if you give in to where I'm on sets, and you don't itch anymore, I think it's a great feeling as well. You know, even if you're doing your own thing, whether it's simple as highlight reels, car videos, it's still a lot of fun. But I love that you want to go higher, bro. Right? I'm gonna have one last question for you. This last question, right? And this is the question that I always ask people, specifically because the reason why I made this podcast is because I had a friend who almost attempted suicide, right? And that's why the show's called I'm 100% Here. I want whoever's on here to be 100%, not 80%, 50%, to just be themselves, right? And it's been a major motivation just because I love the guy and he's now recovering. And what moment in your life, whether good or bad, made you the person you are today?
Probably like, it's a good question.
Yeah. Take your time.
I'd say like, I think the biggest moment is like seeing like, so I used to do these vlogs in middle school, and like everyone would like laugh about it and be like, yo, like this guy's a vlogger. Like, okay, but like back then, like 10 years ago, like YouTube was not, like vlogging was not cool. Like vlogging was like if you didn't have 1 million subs vlogging and you're vlogging, like you got, especially when you're in middle school, like, but like I was vlogging and like doing all this stuff, like this YouTube stuff, like nothing like filmmaking related. Like I had friends that were like kind of like making fun of me, and I was like, and like we still like joke about it to this day. It's like, damn, remember Justin when you had that vlog channel?
What would you vlog about?
I was just like, so like we, like my friends like and us would like, we'd have like barbecues or whatever, like, or our parents would have barbecues and I'd invite my friends over, and like I'd just vlog it, or like we'd go to like Six Flags or whatever, or like just like hanging out or whatever. Like I'd vlog, and like and then like I vlogged like our, like I think middle school graduation or whatever, and like it was always funny, and like I think I have one of them saved on my phone, and like
you gotta show me later.
And but now like it was like, and then like people were like making fun, and then like they slowly started seeing me like transition to like the filmmaking side of it and like doing the DP stuff, and now they're like, oh, okay, so it all worked out. So like that felt good. I think that was like kind of like a big turning point. Like, okay, I'm pursuing the right direction, because it turned from like, obviously it was like joking, making fun, but like now like they're like, they see it and like they're supporting it and everything.
Like, oh shoot, okay, like I see you, Justin. Yeah, it's cool because I could definitely. I used to vlog as well. I vlogged my brother's wedding, and it was just horrible. It was 40 minutes, bro.
Yeah, like I shot it on like iPhone 4, I think, and it was edited in like, it wasn't even edited. It was just like, YouTube had this app before. I don't know why I remember this. It was like called YouTube Capture, I think. I don't know if they still have the app around, but you can record clips and it would like put it on a timeline for you, and like, you can put some like cheesy background music, like some like copyright free music on it. And like it was that, like it was like 480p or whatever, and like I shot on like the front facing camera, and it looked like a potato, and it was like 4:3 or whatever. It wasn't even 16:9. It was 4:3.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
But yeah.
So would you say that's the moment, like I guess the turning point was, okay, these guys, these people that I've grown up with, they see me now, like, okay, yeah, I can do this. It gives you that motivation, that rush, bro. Yeah. So Justin Zheng, guys, I appreciate you, bro. It's been a good episode. This is Justin Zheng, DP, Director of Photography for Por el Amor al Futbol, and The Boxer coming out May 19th at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. We're still But Justin, hey, yo, I wish you nothing but the best, bro. You got a lot of potential, and I see a lot of projects happening for you. And I'm pretty sure, bro, I'm not just saying this, but I'm pretty sure if you want to get a BMW contract, you're gonna get it, man.
Right.
There's no doubt about it, bro. Again, bro, I appreciate you, bro. You got any last words for the people? Any advice for anybody coming in to be filmmakers?
Just chase the dream. There's no plan B, guys. It's all plan A.
I love it. Yeah, it's all plan A. I love it. Again, guys, subscribe and like. I have to say that, bro. And make sure you guys rate and review on podcast platforms. Love y'all. And we are out. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Woo!